Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a very special edition of Tuesday Notary Titans, where we get to celebrate the life and legacy of my friend, colleague, and inspiration to thousands of notaries across the country, Carol Ray, founder of Notary2Pro. Thank you so much for all of you joining here live today, or those who have sent in their beautiful stories of how Carol Ray has touched, moved, or inspired them throughout their notary journey. Today marks the Tuesday Notary Titans is special because Carol and I founded that as the Breakfast Club on October 30th, 2018. And very quickly, we brought Laura on board, and the three of us for nearly 3 years have been able to hang out and deliver content, answer questions, and support you in your journey as a notary public. And I'll always remember the way Carol reached out, her open and warm heart, and the way that we were able to laugh together on this journey in a way that we should have been, from the outside looking in, we should have been competitors. And it shouldn't have worked out the way it did, but that wasn't Carol Ray. She reached out and built a relationship that I am honored to have been a part of. And today we're going to hear, it's going to work kind of like a regular Tuesday Notary Titans call, except we're going to invite you up to share your own stories of the impact Carol Ray has had on your life. And we're going to limit that to about 2 minutes per person. And I've called in some reinforcements to help us in that process. If you switch to gallery view on your Zoom, you'll see that Jennifer Neitzel from Signing Agent Marketing is here as well. It's just a big green screen though. That's what you should be seeing right now. Thanks to Daniel Brewer for the tip on Toastmasters for time. Jen will have the green sign up when you're good to go. It will convert to yellow to give you a warning that you have about 30 seconds left in your story. And then when you see this red sign, just like a red stoplight, it's time to wrap it up and bring it to a close so someone else can share their story as well. That means you probably won't get to tell a Carol Ray classic story because you know she could tell a story and it usually lasted more than 2 minutes. But we're going to have to wrap that up a little faster today so we can hear as many of these beautiful stories as possible. So you're going to raise your hand. We'll invite you up. You'll have 2 minutes, and then we'll bring that to a close and move on to someone else that would like to share. Depending on the number of stories, we probably will not be able to do the traditional Q&A. We may towards the end. But I know I've got lots of messages here from other people who had submitted stories too. So I expect that this will probably take the full hour. And we're going to keep everybody on mute. Jen, are you able to help with that as well? Got you multitasking.
Yeah, let me pop out the...
I'll be watching it as well. To kick things off, I'd like to invite one of Carol's close friends and a friend of our notary community as well, and my co-host of Tuesday Notary Titans, Laura Buer.
Thank you, Bill. And thanks for everybody who came today knowing that this would be our focus. I just have to pull it together. I only got 2 minutes. Carol and I met about 2012, so it's been 10 years. And the way we met, interestingly enough, is that Carol had Notary2Pro going on. She started in 2009, and by 12, she had it really going. And I was teaching the same kind of material, but for the NNA, doing live courses. And I took her class because I wanted to see if there was another way to teach it, to help people better understand what's going on. With the documents and help notaries be more proficient at what they were doing. I was so impressed with the easy way that she unpacked these documents and discussed them and helped somebody walk through what it would be like to handle that I called her. I didn't know her. I just took her class and I decided I'm going to call her. And I left her a message telling her who I was and why I took her class and would love to tell her personally. And she called me back. And that call was the beginning of this 10-year friendship. We started as two colleagues and I was her student. So I'm a Notary2Pro graduate, like many of you. And Carol kept asking me, Laura, what's your dream? What do you dream of doing? Do you want to do this till you retire? Or is there something else bigger that you want? And so some of you know I have my famous emojis that are starting to appear in different calls. So this is the one for Carol. It says, I'm a dream builder, because that's what Carol was. She was a dream builder. She was interested, not just that you knew how to deliver documents, she was interested in your life. And her ability to connect people with other people. Bill is my most famous connection. And then many of you, I won't tell the story here, know that he came to one of my symposiums because Carol said, hey, you've got to get this guy, you've got to meet him, you've got to see what's going on. And that's who Carol was. She was a connector, she was a colleague, she was my friend. And in the last couple of years, we connected as we were both grandmas. And that was our main connection. And that's what we talked about. We didn't talk about notary stuff. We talked about being grandmas. So I see that I've hit the red. So I'm going to allow somebody else to share what their experience and impact is. But I will tell you this, Carol will have a long-lasting legacy in how I help others build their dreams, because that was the point. And thank you for letting me share a little bit about my friend.
Thank you, Laura. And you nailed the ripple effect of her inspiration and driving you to your dream and the impact that has on so many others.
Yeah.
Michael Shimon, thank you for being here. I know you've had your hand up for a while. Would you like to comment on Carol?
Yeah, my wife and I are both notaries, and my wife found both you, Bill, and Carol in the process of us studying and getting commissioned. We were commissioned in 2019. And Carol served 2 points. She was not only a trainer and a teacher, but she was also a watchdog. Things that have happened in signings and stuff like that that were either illegal or needed watching, I would email Carol, and she would look into it and also put out the word to other people to watch out for either certain signing companies that weren't reputable, and also give me good insights. In the meantime, I kept asking her as we were kind of going through the process, should we go out separately? What should we do? And she said, well, just keep it simple. You're the notary partners. So she actually, she named her company. So that's basically it.
Thank you for sharing that, Michael. That was beautiful. Clyde, thank you for being here.
Hi there. Thanks for the opportunity and for hosting this room. This is really, really nice. So I came to hear and learn about Carol through the internet. And I'm assuming many of us have discovered her that way as part of Notary2Pro. And I didn't know it at the time, but I really sort of stumbled into this whole other realm of world of notary. And it was guided to me by Carol, which is quite fun. One of the things that I want to convey 2 points. One is she wanted me to be successful, and I didn't quite understand that. I took the training, I went through the process, I told her I was having my first signing, and lo and behold, she was on the phone and she wanted to know when it was happening because she wanted me to talk with her right before I went in for the signing. And I'm going, Carol, no. It's early. It's early morning. You're in a different time zone. No. Oh, no, she was not going to have it. She was going to have me call her, and we scheduled that call. And so bright and early, I think it was like at 6:30 my or her time. And we sat down and we chatted about the signing. We went through it all, and I'm just like going, I can't believe this woman is spending this time with me. And so I went through the signing and all that. And lo and behold, I get a call afterwards asking me, how did it go? And I'm thinking, who is this person? I mean, you're this internet person, and I really never really met you, but oh my God, you're in my life. So fast forward on down, and I began to develop the Integrity Notary Journal, and Carol became my #1 champion. I kid you not. This woman just took it upon herself to help others understand about my work. And I was so appreciative of that because, again, I'm new to this space, I'm new to the area, and she was there for me. So again, she wanted me to be successful, and she was my champion. So I greatly appreciate the opportunity to having to speak about her. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Clyde. Beautiful, beautiful demonstration of Carol's abundant heart. Phil Shannon, thanks for being here.
My pleasure. I'm not sure, Laura can probably correct me if I'm wrong. I forget which notary symposium I first met Carol, but I'm a non-notary, as most of you know. So there was no benefit from her in our conversation, but she was always so incredibly cordial, so friendly. She always had something nice to say. She always took a few minutes out of her time to have a conversation about what's going on in my life and her life. And I just remember it just being such a sweet, wonderful person who cared about everybody. And I think anyone she touched, we were lucky to be around her. So it's so sorry for her passing. And but she leaves a legacy. One of the great things about her life is she was able to do what all of us want to do, leave a legacy, and she left a legacy. So congratulations.
Thank
Are you lost, children?
Are you lost?
No,
Nope,
I thought you
I'm
were.
not.
That was kind of apropos. We are all kind of lost a little bit without Carol.
That was kind of perfect timing, right? Exactly. Thank you for that. And Matt Miller, pleasure to see you on today.
Thanks, Bill. And thanks for having this tribute today. I think it's important that we all take a moment to recognize the value that Carol Ray brought to this profession and her just outstanding community leadership. I met Carol right here on TNT, and we developed a phone relationship back and forth. As many of you know, phone calls with Carol Ray may have been some of the best phone calls of your life. They were always so positive for me because she was always so supportive of whatever was going on, and always so knowledgeable. I used to refer to Carol as our notary historian, because if I ever wanted to know where a certain practice stemmed from, I could be sure that Carol would know. So while this is a big loss for our community, I want to piggyback on what Bill said. The legacy that Carol leaves in each and every one of you will help her live on, and the impact that she has on our community will live on through each and every one of you. And on behalf of the California League of Independent Notaries, we are going to honor Carol Ray as a master notary, honorary master notary award. And I'll be sending this placard along with this trophy award to her family this week. And she joins one of only, including herself, 4 master notaries in the nation. So just wanted to share that with everyone. Thank you all for coming, and I will yield the remainder of my time. Thank you.
Matt, thank you so much for that honor for Carol Ray. I know that's going to mean a lot to her family and to everyone. Thank you. Judy Coltree, I'm so glad you're here. You're still on mute, though.
There we go. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I wrote in something because I wasn't sure if I would get to be here live, but you know, I became a notary in 2017. A friend of mine said, you need to check out Carol Ray. So I did some research, called her, and she answered the phone immediately. And we talked for about 10 minutes. I joined her course and we became friends. And I said, it's amazing that within 10 minutes you can form a friendship with someone across the country. I miss her smile, I miss her laughter, and I miss my friend.
Thank you for sharing that, Judy. It always amazed me that she could answer the phone. It seems like no matter how many notaries called her, she was able to answer that phone. Sandra Y., thank you so much for being here.
Hi, everyone. I'm in California. My name is Sandra Young, and I just wanted to say that I met Carol back in 2016. I had just retired from the state of California. I was a contract manager and wanted to look into getting into something that would keep me busy after retirement. Well, I decided to be a notary. I called Carol. I did join her class, and I'm a graduate of Notary2Pro back, like I said, 2016. But I just wanted to say she made transitioning into a notary so much easy for me. She answered my questions. I took her classes, and when I first started, the first couple of ones, if I had questions, she answered, and then I was on my way. But I just wanted to thank Carol's family for sharing her with all of us. That really helped, and she's truly going to be missed. So that's all.
Thank you, Sandra. That was beautiful. Beautiful. Tiffany Stevens, thank you so much for being here. What would you like to say?
I am so sorry. Hi. Thank you so much for having the space for us today, Bill and everyone. I met Carol a few years ago. I was looking for a course. I had been a notary for many years, and I was looking for, a course for loan signing. And I too called her and we talked, and I became a student. And I am now a graduate, of course, but I remember she always, whatever she said she meant, she would answer my emails. And on my first signing, I called, I was nervous. I had been up all night long with those documents. I thought I had everything down to a T with the stickies and all of that. And I got to the signing, and I noticed that the paper, I had the wrong size paper, and it's crazy today when you think about it. It was minor, but it wasn't. And I called, and they transferred, no, it was the answer machine. She called me right back, and I was going crazy, like screaming. I'm like, oh my God, I have the wrong paper. And she's just like, calm down, we're going to be okay. And they had paid me extra money because it was a holiday. She walked me through everything. Then she followed up later. That meant a lot to me. And I hope that can carry on with other folks that are having, courses now. It's a commitment, to the students that choose you for a program, and you commit to that student. She kept her commitment. She always checked in. She responded. Even Barbara, she helped me with my website. So it was just a blessing working with the family. So I'm just, sending up condolences to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Tiffany. Another great demonstration.
Yeah.
Lorraine, thank you so much for being here.
Well, thank you, Bill and Laura, for making this available to us. I think we all needed this moment to remember Carol together. I had my notary commission for probably close to 20 years before I met Carol, and working in escrow. And I thought, well, what do I need to learn? I can stamp something. And a friend of mine, notary friend, suggested that I contact Notary2Pro. And I learned so much, and I love the way the way she taught the program was slow and diligent and concise. And she made sure that you understood what it was that she was teaching. And I was really, really impressed with the program, and did become a graduate. And there were a couple of times when I ran into a couple of glitches, and yeah, like everybody says, you could contact her, email, phone call, whatever, and she'd be there. Oh my gosh, it's right there. And I want to thank her family for the beautiful letter that they wrote. We learned so much about her life. And I think for me and maybe others too, the legacy that Carol leaves is just live life to the fullest and, live your fullest potential. Just get everything out of it and love it and enjoy it. Thank you.
Thank you, Lorraine. And I think that summed it up perfectly. She did so much. I even learned so much from the social media posts from her family about Carol. Henry Felder, nice to see you on here. What would you like to share?
Good afternoon, Bill. Thank you for providing this opportunity for notaries to just give some warm thoughts of how Carol was. I wasn't a student of hers, but I just loved it when she was on TNT. I just knew every week she was going to have something funny to say. and her laughter was just so energetic, and you just couldn't wait to hear from her. And she was just so knowledgeable, and she just was willing to help everyone. And I'm going to miss that laughter, I really am.
Yeah, me too, Henry. I think every phone call, every TNT, every conversation I've had with Carol, no matter what was going on, there was laughter involved. So thank you for sharing that. Patricia Bridges, thank you for being here.
Thank you, everybody. Hello. This is such a great tribute to life, not sadness, to me. Because of Carol, when I first started off, of course, I did the Facebook thing, and the one positive thing I kept seeing, N2P. I finally ventured out and asked, what is N2P? And they said, Notary2Pro. I immediately went on the website. I immediately read and joined. I met Barbara, I met Carol, and like Clyde and the rest of them have said, what attracted me to her teaching style was, I'll be there for you. When you get the document, don't worry about it. When you leave and you want to talk about it, don't worry about it. Just call me. You don't get that from anybody. I don't care how much you pay them. And that is such a confidence booster and builder. And who I am today as a notary, I attribute to her introducing me to you, Bill, to Laura, to
I think we lost Patricia. I'm sure she'll pop back in here. I love that sound. Andrew Moore, thanks for being here.
Bill, can you hear me?
Yeah, we sure can.
All right, real quick. So I never met Carol personally. I took her course, but I just wanted to say, over a year ago, I was in the process of becoming a notary. I knew nothing about the industry. And somehow I found out about her course. I take her course. I find out about Bill Soroka. I find out about Laura. I find out about Ronnie. I find out about Matt. I mean, all these videos all over YouTube started popping up, all these different training courses. And then to boot, I get some of my best customers because I took her course. And I just think, wow, that is such a great thing that you can do for people out there like me that are just getting started in the industry, helping them get started and understand it and be competent in front of customers. So I just want to say to Carol's family, wow, what an amazing lady. And I hope I can do that for people in this industry too. Thanks.
Love that. Thank you for sharing, Andrew. Patricia, would you like to come back up and finish?
Yeah, I am so sorry. Of
No
course,
worries.
it was a customer, but what I was going to say, my successfulness is Carol's legacy. because she has introduced me to so many fabulous teachers, trainers, mentors, networking people. And this right here is going to keep her amongst us. Because, you know, we were devastated when she was there and she said that, you know, I won't be back. And we were like, no, no, no. But again, I just wanted to say those few words because a lot of people are successful. Their lives have changed because of Carol being in it and being concerned. She was genuinely concerned about everybody making it. So that in itself is just so awesome. And I thank you, Bill, Laura, and a lot of other people that are on this call. And that's all I have to say. Bye.
Thank you, Patricia. Thanks for coming back. Beautiful tribute. Marcella, I'm so glad you made it. Would you like to unmute? There you go.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sure can.
Well, I never met Carol personally. I met where I found your course first, Bill, and through you I found Carol's course. I love the way she explained everything on her course, learned a lot. And I'm very grateful for everything she gave on the Tuesday calls on the TNT. She was always very helpful. She answered a couple of mine. So I just want to say to her family, you know, my condolences and prayers, and to thank them for sharing her with us. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Marcella. Beautiful. Kathy Miller, thank you for being here.
Well, I met her through the Indiana Notary Association, and I was like in charge of coordinating for a notary day and getting sponsors. And I reached out to Carol, and that began a friendship that, well, anyways, my background was in title and hers was, and she was so generous giving a free membership to her Notary2Pro and offered, I think, 2 certificates for her class. And I personally also took it, and I'm a graduate. And her heart, and she was a giving person, and she will never be forgotten.
Thank you, Kathy. That's one of the gifts of the friendship and relationship I had with Carol, is hearing these whispers of kindness every direction. You know, Carol did a lot of things for people behind the scenes that you never heard about. And every now and then there'd be a little whisper of gratitude that somebody would share. She touched so many lives without the need of a spotlight. And I always honored that and admired that about her. Patricia Langford, thank you for being here. Would you like to unmute?
Good afternoon, everyone. Please bear with me. I only have 2 minutes, but the relationship that I had with Carol was just amazing. I met her at 2018 symposium up north. Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Laura, for inviting me to that event. And when I met her, I knew it was something different, something special about her. After that event, Carol made sure that my notary business had everything that it needed, everything. And if you have a notary business, you know what it takes to open that business. And to this day, I still have everything that she ever presented to me for my business. And I need everyone to know that I'm so hurt. I'm so hurt. When I get in my car to go and do what it is that we do as notaries, I think of Carol. Carol made sure I had a car, folks. Carol made sure that I had everything to be the perfect mobile notary service. And I'm done. I'm done. I'm done.
Thank you, Patricia. Thank you for unmuting and sharing that story. Is there anyone else that would like to step up and share? Sharon, thank you. Welcome.
Hi, good afternoon. I just wanted to say I had the opportunity and so grateful I decided to make that call in October of last year. I just called Carol out of the blue because I missed her being on TNT to ask a question that she had heard so many times before about the infamous California per diem disclosure. I already knew the answer, but I just wanted to, to have a conversation with her and chat with her. And she asked me what she missed on TNT. And I said, oh, Carol, absolutely. It hasn't been the same without you. You are a national treasure. And we so appreciate you and all that you've contributed to notaries everywhere. And I was just glad that was the last conversation I had with her, but I was so appreciative. She was a door opener. She was an encourager. And especially for seasoned professionals like myself, having worked in corporate America, trying to reinvent myself and see where I was going to go next. So just very grateful for her and all that she gave to everyone. And I know everyone feels the same here, that she is truly going to be missed. But we have so many positive memories and so much to look forward to because of people like her. So that's all I wanted to share. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. I'm so glad you had that opportunity to talk with her in October. Mike Howard, I'm glad you made it.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My first experience with Carol, I had heard about this whole notary thing, and I was already a notary. And when I called her, and she spent about 30, 45 minutes because she learned I was in Arizona, and she took the time to really just share what it meant to actually do this business. And I'll never forget the first time I had a signing, I called her up and she talked me off of a ledge, talked me through it, helped me figure out everything. And then she wanted me to call her as soon as I was done so that she could just celebrate with me. And that was such an exciting moment. And there's not a time that goes by that I don't think about her whenever I'm doing this job that I love so much.
Thank you for sharing that, Mike. She did. I think she talked a lot of us off ledges in her career. Jennifer Barker, thank you for being here.
Hi. I don't want to get emotional. I was in a 10-year domestic abuse situation that I was isolated and couldn't leave the house unless I absolutely had to. And in the midst of it, I had found Carol's program. And so I took the program and it was hard to reach out, but I reached out to her and she said, we set up a mentoring. And I had gone from being a very vibrant person to being a shell of a human being. And I said, I'm 60 years old. I'm afraid I'm starting with nothing. I don't have retirement. I'm just afraid. And she immediately said, I can tell by your personality, I can tell by your smile and the way that you speak that you are going to be a success. And I can't tell you how much that just lifted me up, because if a complete stranger who has her background and her experience sees that, then you want to believe it. And then through her, found the TNT, through that, found the leadership in Bill and Laura. Sue Hope has just been amazing for me. I can't name everybody who's just been wonderful, but I'm not quite the success I want to be yet, but I am getting there. So I just want to thank her and thank all of you. Thank you for having today.
Thank you for stepping into this and sharing that story, Jennifer. Thank you. Diana Hansen, Thank you for being here. What would you like to share?
So first of all, I just want to say thank you guys very much for doing this today. I think it'll help us with closure. I've known Carol since 2009, and I first met her on Facebook, and then you get to meet her in person, and she's just as real in words as she is face to face. And she wants everybody to succeed. She pushed me to be better than her at times. She would not give up. She'd kick my tush, as I kindly put it, I guess. But she one day just called me out of the clear blue. I didn't go chasing her. She called me. And so like when I heard somebody say, well, she called me at 6:30, 7:30 in the morning, and she's aware of what I've been trying to do, because some people have been helping me develop that and whatnot. And her and her daughters were getting me answers, and they were educating me, because there was a little bit of a communication problem with the person I was helping and stuff. But even that, I mean, she was humbled. She was always very, very positive. And so I just want to say to her family and her legacy, you know, don't ever go away. I'll keep passing that baton, because that's what she wants.
Beautiful, Diana. And that is absolutely what she would want. Thank you. Cassandra, thank you for being here. What would you like to share?
Hi, and thank you guys for holding this for Carol. I wanted to say that, and I'm not sure if anybody else felt this way. I did research for seems like 2 years on YouTube, trying to decide whether or not I was going to be a notary. And I found a video of Carol, and she was showing how to do a loan signing. And she had such confidence that I found out about Notary2Pro and called her, told her I didn't want to do anything but general notary work. And she just encouraged me and said, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that, and you're going to do well with that. And she gave me such confidence. I actually would refer back to that video after I had already started as a notary, just to look at her. I would always think I want to be just as confident as she was when she was doing that signing. And the video looked like it was something from the 80s, but it was still such a great video, and showed her confidence. And she was so very encouraging. And I just wanted to say, I really appreciated all of her knowledge and everything that she was able to give on TNT. And thank you all for holding this for her. And condolences to her family.
Thank you so much for that, Cassandra. And I'm glad you brought up that video. We talked and laughed about that very often, but so many notaries, that was the very first experience they had with knowing what loan signings is. That's the impact again. Carol Aravet, thank you so much for being here. Would you like to unmute? Carol Aravet, going once. We'll come back to you, Carol. You're probably on your phone. It's hard to find that mute button. I'll go to Anissa for right now. Anissa, thank you for being here.
You're welcome, and thank you for putting this on for Carol. I just wanted to say that here's one thing, well, one of many things that I enjoyed about Carol, and that was her voice. She had such a reassuring tone about anything that you come across. And anytime I'm doing documents and I'm wondering, all right, what's the answer to this? Like, I've never seen it set up this way. I think about what she says about let the documents talk to you. And that always reassures me. I can calm down. I can look at the documents and I let them talk to me. And I've always thought of Carol in those moments, because it's just so true. You just have to calm down and get through them. So I thank her for that. I thank you all for having her on as a part of the presentation, and I missed her. Anytime I had to call over to Notary2Pro, I either spoke with Barbara or someone else, and I would always tell them to let Carol know that she was missed on TNT. So thank you.
Thank you, Anissa. Thank you for sharing that. Carol Aravet, making my way back to you. Carol, there you go.
Hi,
Hi,
can you hear me?
sure can.
Hi, how are you doing?
Excellent. Thank you for being here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for having me. I just wanted to say a few words. I didn't know Carol personally. I have been listening to you guys for quite some time, mainly you, but she was someone I listened to as well. I'm in California, so I listen to you and Laura a lot as well as her. It feels like I do know her though. So I started in 2019 and then the COVID hit and it's like, once that happened, you guys helped me get through it. That's all I got to say, because there was so much time on my hands, you know. So I learned quite a bit, and I do still go on YouTube, and I'll look at her videos and yours, and go back and forth and stuff. And I have your books, but I just wanted to let you know that I'm very sorry. I know she was very dear to you, and it's really a loss. So I just wanted to give you that, and thank you so much for everything that you guys offer us.
Thank you so much, Carol. I appreciate you sharing that and being here.
Now, thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. SD Levy, thank you for being here. Would you like to unmute and share?
Hi, thank you guys for having Mr. Carol. I've been listening to you guys since I started last April, and she was always a calming spirit. And like Anissa said, I let her famous phrase stick with me when I go through posts and on Facebook and everything, and I'd be reading people's comments, and I'd be like, you people need to be on TNT. Let the documents speak to you. Just let them speak to you. Carol, that was the best thing ever to ever tell anybody, to calm you down. And like Anissa said, it calms me. And when I go through documents and if it's something that I don't understand, I just reread it and I let the document speak to me. And she was such a blessing in just that short period of time. And I just want to give my condolences to the family and friends who all loved her. She would definitely be missed. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you for sharing that. It's so true. So true. There's so many Carolisms that we picked up through the years. She had such great advice for just about every situation, including poker. She was quite a poker player, and that's one thing that we shared in common as well. I remember the first time I met Carol in person, it kind of threw me through a loop, right? It was on my way to Laura's symposium. I was already a nervous wreck because I had to speak in front of people, and I am very introverted. This career has really brought me out of some introversion, but at that time, that was, gosh, Laura, what was that? Was that 3 years ago, 4 years ago? I can't remember exactly, but Carol literally invited me to her house in Ileton because I was out there on a road trip. I was going to make a road trip adventure out of the symposium trip, and she invited me to her home to have lunch. And that, as an introvert, I don't invite anybody over to my house, right? We meet at a restaurant, this is my sacred space. But she invited me right to her home and had lunch with her family in her dining room. And there was something truly so weird and special about that. I really honored that time and I really felt connected. And I think someone just mentioned that you just felt like you knew her and that you were a friend after just a single phone call, one interaction sometimes. Would anybody else like to come up and share?
While people are waiting, I wanted to mention just a couple things. One, I posted it, but when Sue Hope did her posting this morning, she put up a Carol Ray challenge to pay it forward. And I would love, and I know Carol would love, for all of us to take a moment to pay it forward. To when the moment moves you, then take the action. Carol Ray challenge, pay it forward. The other thing is that when the three of us, I used to tell Carol, Carol, Bill, and Laura, we make the magic happen. There was just something magical that worked between the three of us that was an unusual gift. And that is something that I will miss for the rest of my days, my career, and the rest of my life. And the last thing is that if you did not see the posting her son, Michael, wrote. It's on Notary2Pro, the Facebook page, Notary2Pro. If you want to read that and get to know Carol more as a person and who she was. And she was quite the adventurer, and really took everything that happened in her life, and they weren't all good times, and she made them so. She made them an adventure. And I think that is just an incredible perspective to have all your life, rather than being afraid of whatever it is that's coming. So I just wanted to add those three things, and I hope you will be thinking about Carol and take that challenge and pay it forward. Thank you.
I'm so glad you reminded us of that, Laura. Thank you. Garrett Smith, I saw your hand go up. Did you have something you wanted to share? I just want to make sure you get an opportunity to share. You may have dropped off. That's okay. Let me know, Garrett. Lori Woods, thank you so much for being here. What would you like to share?
Hi, thank you. I started my notary journey back in 2017, and I found Notary2Pro, and I reached out to Carol. And even early on, with even getting registered, I just noticed her commitment to being so open and sharing and available. And I just was really touched by that. And for me, in my journey with becoming a notary and then a signing agent has been a lot slower paced because I do it part-time. I still work full-time. But the time I remember going out to my first signing, nervous, like typical, and calling her. And it was like she stopped at a moment's notice just to take that call and to hear me out, talk me through it, and calm me down. And again, I was just so touched, like, this lady is like an angel. She's amazing. And then fast forward a few years, I decided to relocate to Texas. And again, I dip in and dip out because my pace is a little bit slower. But when I moved to Texas from Ohio, and I went on one of the boards and asked a question or something, and Carol replied, and she shared that her and her family were planning to make that move from California to Texas in a few years, I think right before the pandemic. And I was just so touched, like, oh, maybe I'll get to meet her one day. We'll be in the same state. But then, again, with my busy schedule and my day job, I just haven't been as in tune with the notary boards and business as much. But when I did see the posting, and my heart just stopped for a moment. She really touched so many people in so many ways, and she's truly a definition of what a servant leader is. She was committed to it naturally, and truly a blessing to so many people and so many lives. And I do give my sincerest condolences to all her friends, family, and loved ones. She was amazing.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Lori. Thank you. Dan L., thanks for being here.
Hi. Yeah, I'm Dan L. from Whittier area, and I just wanted to share quickly that in 2019, after 2 years of having my commission and not doing very many notarization, I did discover Carol Ray on one of her videos, and became more interested. 2019, I took the plunge and I took her course, and then the pandemic hit, and there was just an influx of business, and I just attribute the confidence that I gained from her encouragement in her course, and then discovering TNT and Laura and Bill. Just have been able to serve so many families in the interim in all these years and all this time. And I wouldn't have gained that experience and that confidence, I don't think, without taking that course, Notary2Pro, and becoming certified, and just just her way of teaching was very just simple and easy to get, and I got it. You know, I was able to go out there and be that servant to so many families during this pandemic, and the shutdowns and everything. And just one of the things that I know I could pay it forward is to encourage the newer notaries that are there's so many of them that I meet online and everything, that have taken an interest in the field, and encouraging them to turn to TNT, to Laura, to Bill, to Matt, to others. And I just want to say to her family my deepest condolences and appreciation for all that Carol has done, and that her family in support of her. And it was because of all that support, you know, that we as notaries have been able to make a difference in so many lives out there, and for so many families that they'll never know her, but we did, and we made that difference through her. So thank you for having this today.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you for taking a few moments to share that with us. Celicia, I'm glad you made it. What would you like to share today?
Hi, everyone. It's so great that you're having this today. I'm just really, really appreciative. And I've read all the comments that everyone's made. But I haven't heard this one. The thing that I loved about Carol Ray is that she was every man. She was not the great man, you know, but she was the everyman, and she was the part that every one of us can recognize in ourselves. And that's what made her really great. You know, when you heard her talk, it, you know, and I think I posted in my comments, it was like talking to Aunt Carol. I mean, you know, that was sort of the feel that you had for her. But the real level of the humanness that she had was just something that I appreciated so much. And I appreciate in you and Laura as well. You know, anytime I have a question about something, I hear all of your voices in my head. What would Bill say? What would Carol say? What would Laura say? You know, and so that I can come up with the right answer. But it is the everyman that Carol was, just like one of us, and she just gave such great confidence in anything that we would do herself. And the fact that you know, she would make mistakes, or she wouldn't know how to do the stupid Zoom thing, or where to push the button, or I'm on mute, you know, just made her such a real, genuine person, that I think that's what all of us connected with, you know, so much, because she was just such a great gal. And it's just somebody, you know, that you would just love to be with. And I'm just really honored to have spent the brief amount of time that I got to spend with her, and was really sad when she had pulled back from being one of the hosts. It was a great loss to all of us. And you know, we just have to go forward, and we have to take Carol with us as we go forward. And I love the challenge to pay it forward. That's exactly what Carol do. Thanks.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Celicia. I'm so glad you brought that up, because there was a little slogan I used to say in my head is WWCD, what would Carol do? Many, many, many times. Thank you for sharing that. Joe Lopez, thanks for being here. I'm glad you made it up.
Bill, hi everybody. Sorry I'm late. Work called, but I just wanted to say I feel fortunate that when I first got involved in this industry, and as I was investigating the courses to take, that's when you and Carol came together. So I feel fortunate that I was able to learn from you, Carol, and then through Laura, through these calls. These calls were immensely helpful, and the timing for me couldn't have been any better. And as I was taking a look at a course to take, anytime I see somebody online or somebody who I know who asks me, which course is it I should take? What's the best? I tell them, research the big three and pick one that fits best with you, right? There is no best course. And I found Carol's course worked the best with me. And I think I've heard a couple of the comments here. She seems so real. She is real. She means everything she says. And some people say, I'm here to support you, while, you know, they just want you to pay for their course or whatnot. But she was there by phone. I mean, she was there to help you when you had to have help. And she's helped so many, hundreds and hundreds of people. And I can even see on this call, there are over 240 people, right? Just an all around great person, very real, and had a huge heart. And she certainly will be missed.
Thank you for sharing that, Joe. So true. Daniel Brewer, thank you. I'm glad you made it.
Hey, thank you very much, Bill. And I won't take much time. I just want to thank you and Laura for, this has got to be a tough day for you guys. I mean, you're really tough, close friends of hers. And so I want to thank you guys for allowing us to do this today. I didn't know Carol that well, but I know the programs that are out there, and yours and others, and some that aren't represented here. And they all seem to have gotten their start. I mean, Laura and Bill, your programs wouldn't be what they are if Carol's hadn't been there first. I mean, you always had the trailblazer that had to walk through create the trail in the first place so the others could walk. And when I see that, and I saw where she was coming from, and I do say, let the documents talk to you. That does come through my head. So I just want to say thank you, and thanks for the opportunity.
Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for sharing that, for sure. Guys, this has been a beautiful, beautiful tribute to a beacon of love and light for our community. I want to thank you so much for sharing this. And this is hard to hear. Well, it's not hard to hear. It's a rough period. There's some sadness, of course, but I'm walking away from this day inspired even more to have been in the orbit of somebody who had such a positive impact on people, you know. And it's not just memorial talk, right? These are things people used to say when Carol was alive and she was active in our lives. You'd hear all the good that she does. So this is just a megaphone to continue that on. And it's such an honor to be here with you in celebration of that. I think we do have time. I saw one more hand come up, so I want to make sure everybody gets an opportunity to share before I bring Laura back up to close us out. Kimberly?
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Sure can. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. I want to thank you, Bill and Laura, for having this forum. I just learned of Carol's passing last night, and I was just utterly devastated. I was not a member of Notary2Pro, but I first tuned into Notary Titans like in 2018 when I had first become a notary, and I was just looking for more information and support. And so I've been listening and learning and enjoying you all ever since. And even though I don't usually have a question, I listen and learn a lot and just appreciate how genuinely and thoughtfully everyone answers, the questions. And I just really appreciated Carol and her spirit and her, loving way that she communicated and everything. She helped to answer questions that, I didn't even know that I had. So I miss Carol, and I thought of her often, after she wasn't on anymore. And I just wanted to express my condolences to her family and thank them for sharing more about her. You guys have become like family to me. With the pandemic, just being at home alone, I look forward to seeing you all. I'm sorry. It's like losing a family member. I'm so sorry. I watch you guys every week, and get to play the playbacks when I can't tune in. And so, you just don't realize how much you grow to love people, and even from afar when they're not, people you get to communicate with every day. But I just wanted to say that. So that I really appreciate, sorry about that, that you guys put on this forum and help us as notaries, and help us, grow our business. And to Carol and his family, and you, Bill and Laura, you mean so much to all of us. You've made me more confident and more knowledgeable. And I just wanted to thank you for inviting Carol to be a part of TNT. I just want to take this time to let you all know how much of a blessing you've been, even to to those of us who you may not know. We don't maybe, speak up as often. That, like I said, I listen every week, and you guys are important. And you just never know the influence that you may have on someone's life. And I just wanted to say thank you to all the presenters, to Nina, and that just to let you know that you're loved and appreciated from afar. And just give my condolences to Carol's family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And what a perfect way to close with the analogy of a family that this TNT community has definitely become, but the notary community in general. So thank you very much, Kimberly. Laura, closing thoughts today.
I saw a couple posts, so I just had to comment on it about how she saw us as family. And I mean, who else would you let see you in the shower answering a phone, right? Answer your phone is the mantra from Carol. And so if you haven't seen that video, it really is hysterical about answering your phone. So many lessons, life lessons, not just business or notary lessons that Carol taught us along the way. It was just natural. And of course, I think the best tribute for Carol is to pay that forward. Is we learned the lessons about to help others. She demonstrated for us what it's like to help somebody else and see them succeed and get what they want. And for us to be able to carry that forward is the best thank you I think we can offer. Her family also mentioned that, and rather than flowers or any of that, any donations to St. Jude's, because that was a cause that she was involved in and very supportive of. Today's recording and chat is being saved for family so that they can see and hear her extended family and how much we love her and care about her. And thank you all for coming today to share a little piece of what you got from Carol. And it's a blessed day. I'm glad I could be here with you. Thanks, Bill.
All right. Thank you, Laura. Thank you for that. And thank you for everyone who took a little bit of time just to be here in this space. I think this has been a gift for me, for Laura, for all of us, and definitely for the family. And Carol was a gift as well. And it's been an honor. Thank you very much for being here. We'll close it out now. You guys enjoy the rest of your afternoon. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Love you guys.